Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this brand new series that I've created called Is It Worth It? This series is going to be geared towards suggestions from my subscribers and ultimately looking at questions that you guys, as subscribers or viewers, have about whether or not something is actually worth doing in the game. And so there's questions that come up all the time in the in-game chat about whether you should do this or should I invest in this person, and those are ultimately the questions that I'm looking for, and so I can do little response videos on them. So to kick off the series, I've had this bullet in the chamber for quite some time. I hadn't really ever thought about doing a video for it, but I posted it in my guild's chat way back when I first did it. But it's relating to jackpots. Now, for those of you fairly new to the game, every now and then there is a feature that comes up that is called Jackpots, which basically means when you do heroic summons, you have a possibility of hitting a jackpot and getting one of three different things. You could either get a 10 times free summon, which is pretty amazing. You can get quote-unquote tons of hero tokens, which really it's not tons. Usually you get 2 heroes and 15 tokens each. Though I think in newer iterations of the jackpots that has been upgraded, but I did not participate in jackpots the last time they were out. And then the last one is going to be 2.5 million gold, which is basically junk in my opinion. And I think the new jackpots actually have 5 million gold instead of 2.5. Like I said, it's only been around a few times. I think I counted a total of 4 jackpot features that have come up since I've been playing the game. So the purpose of this particular video is to help you as a casual player of the game, or even a hardcore player of the game, to determine, is it worth it to try and do a jackpot summon? So what I did, and this was from back in September of 2016, I went back and looked at my screenshots and my camera to see when I actually took this. Because when I first had the idea to do it, to post it to my guild, I basically did all of these summons and jotted them down on a sheet of paper to document my findings. And that's kind of what I'm showing now. So without further ado, I'm actually going to go through all of the different summons that I actually got. So you can take a look and pause the video and you can stare down the notes that I want, but basically I'm going to summarize it into all the different categories here. So to start things off, I did a total of 6 times 10 summons. So my goal here was to try and I guess I was trying to get a little bit cute with the system, and I thought if I did enough summons, I would get a couple of nice jackpots and get a couple of more 10 times free summons in there. And then I thought if I did 6 10 times summons and I got a couple of jackpots and I could get a couple more, and then I could get all these hero tokens and bonuses and such like that. So that was my plan, is to try and, I guess, for lack of a better word, it was kind of to cheat the system a little bit. But it's not really cheating the system because I was spending my hard-earned gems on those. And these were actually non-purchased gems. I had actually saved up 16,000 gems myself just by doing tower runs and the bonuses from quests and guild stuff. So there was no specific purchases for this. I was actually saving gems explicitly for the purpose of doing with a jackpot summon. I could have saved it for like a zombie feature or something like that, or other goblins, but I thought the best use of them would be to try and use it on jackpots and see if I could get some more 10 times summons out of it. So here's where it actually broke down then. Out of the 60 total times 10, or the 60 total summons, there was 6 times 10, so there's obviously 10, 6 iterations in there. I got a total of 7 jackpots. So out of those 7 jackpots, I got 0 10 times summon. So my plan right from the start had already backfired. I also got 0 of the 2.5 million gold. And so that means out of all of the 7 jackpots I got, every one of them was the quote-unquote tons of tokens, which was the 15 tokens of this person or that person. Next up, I got a total of 9 purple chests. that amounted to 36 assorted tokens and 11 celestial evos. Keeping in mind that I only documented the things of value that came out of the chest, so if it gave me like loot keys or revive potions or junk like that, I didn't count that as basically anything because it's garbage. I got a total of 12 gold chests, which amounted to 48 assorted tokens and 10 celestial evos, but also 750 orb of the seekers. So the thing to note about the chests here, purple and gold chests amount to the same number of hero tokens. So it doesn't really matter if you get a gold chest or a purple chest, in my opinion. Basically, the only difference seemed to be about the celestial evos balanced out a little bit, but that's about it. After that, if it's not a jackpot, a purple chest, or a gold chest, the only thing else it could be is a hero unlock, or the equivalent of one. And so there was 32 of my pulls were actually the equivalent of hero unlocks. And what that actually amounted to was a total of 13 different heroes for a grand total of 880 tokens for those 13 heroes. All in all, because of the tons of token jackpot, I actually did have a total of 15 heroes that actually got tokens for a grand total of 1,159 total tokens. So where that actually breaks down, we're going to show basically who I got from these summons. So we kick things off with the bottom 5 earners. Bottom 5 earners for me were Indigo with 44, Julius with 43, Balog for 42, Ice Bloom with 34, Braum with 15. Next up we have the middle earners. Middle earners were Pygnius at 109, Phenol at 108, Hansuke at 55, Malice at 49, and Kira at 44. And then as we transition into the top 5 earners, we have Emily at 137, Alex at 128, Augustus at 120, Sifu at 119, and Icepick at 112. So, you have to remember with this particular video, this was back before Emily was even really used that much. I don't even think she had epics. The epics may not have even been out at that point. I can't really remember September, but I think the epics were out, but I certainly didn't have her as epic and I didn't use her. I was level 69 at the time, but basically every single Emily token that came up, I felt like it was a waste. Certainly every single Alex token that came up, I thought I was extremely, extremely screwed over. So you'll notice nowhere on this list were any of the real good ones like Zom or Cruel King Bramble, some of the guys that you really want to have. So as I looked through this list, I noticed there was a lot of light heroes on there. I'm not sure how frequently the heroes in the heroic portal actually change, but I was a little bit concerned with the repetition of some of these heroes, and like I said, it felt kind of a slight against me. Like all of these Alex tokens, I felt extremely angry about those. There was no Igorok tokens in here. There was no Furnace tokens. I felt like there was a lot of heroes that I was shooting for to try and up their stars, and ultimately I didn't get that. So the burning question then is, was it worth it to do this? And so for me, the answer is no. No, it was not. Because I got all of these stupid Alex and Emily tokens that I just flat out didn't need. At the time, both of those guys were already maxed out anyways, so all it did was give me a little bit of Aether. So I was hoping for things like I said, Furnace tokens and Igorok tokens and a couple of other guys as well. So I did get some good star levels out of some of my lesser people, but if you look at the middle to the bottom, I only got 40 or 50 tokens, which wasn't enough to really take you from 5-star to 6-star. So in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't help me much with these tokens. Now what it did give me is, a good amount of Aether. I think I got like 3,000 Aether or something to start with. It's on the little screenshot to start with, or the little picture that I took. So if you're on the fence about for example, doing times 10 summons for the jackpots. If you do a times 10, are you going to get a jackpot? Probably. Is it going to be a good jackpot? Are you going to get the times 10? I'm leaning towards probably not. Out of the 3 jackpot instances that I actually took place in, like I said, I think I've done it 3 times. I've gotten 1 times 10 summon. And so there was 6 total jackpots that I got, or 7 total jackpots that I got on this one. I did a 10 times summon, I think 2 of the things ago, and I got 1 times 10 summon in return for it. And then the very first time jackpots came out, I was a pretty new player at the time. I was a relative novice and never really saved up for the times 10 summon. So I did a couple of random summons and got a jackpot with a 2.5 million in it. Didn't feel like much. I felt like it was kind of a waste. So in terms of, I guess if you want to consider it to be like a buyer's remorse, this was one of the instances where I really felt like the game had it out for me. That's kind of balanced out since then, since I've capped out at 70 and started playing more hardcore with my guild now. I have had quite a bit of luck with creating runes. I've been getting heroic and legendary runes. So while this here wasn't really beneficial for me, it was a good learning experience in terms of knowing that I'm never going to waste my gems on jackpots again. It's a huge waste in my opinion. It would have been much better to take those 6 times summons and keep on saving them and use them for a particular hero feature, or if there was a brand new hero, with all of those tokens I could have gotten some serious star levels. So hopefully this video gives you a little bit of insight in terms of what the actual legitimate numbers are if you were to do a bunch of summons expecting to get a times 10 hero reward. Now, that's not to say that you wouldn't get 1 or 2 of them. I mean, it could come up, and maybe I just have bad luck. To break things down, if you look back at my picture, you will see that most of my 10 times 10 summons didn't really pan out that well. I actually had one of the summons that issued 3 jackpots out of the 3 summons. So if one of them was with 3, that means out of the other 5, there was basically 1 each. There was 4 other ones. So take that into account when you're thinking about spending hard-earned gems on the jackpot event. Part of the reason that I did this video is I feel like there's another jackpot event coming up soon, and I wanted to get this out there before that instance actually came up so that people knew about it rather than trying to whip up the video the day of and have people already having wasted their gems and such. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or want more information about my raw data, feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up this pilot episode of the Is It Worth It? And like I said, if you want to give me some topics for other things that you want to know if it's worth it, I'm all for testing things out. I love data collection and analysis, things like that. So send me a quick message and I'll be happy to do the research for you. Thanks for watching.